Yesterday, we factored trinomials that were just like x squared plus 5x plus 6, where we did two numbers that multiply to give us 6. Those same numbers have to add up to 5. That would be 2 and 3. So the factored form was x plus 2, x plus 3. Today, we're looking at trinomials that have a number in front of the x squared. So if we talk about how we did this yesterday, there is a number in front of this x squared. It's just a 1. I'll come back to that. If we look at example number 1, if I try to find two numbers that multiply to give us -4 and add up to 7, that's not possible. There isn't a pair of numbers that does that. Well, that's because we really can't just multiply to get this -4. We have to multiply the 2 with the -4. So we're actually looking for a pair of numbers that multiplies to give us -8. That is possible. And we really did that yesterday. It's just yesterday it was 1 times 6, which didn't change the 6, so we didn't worry about thinking about it. But really, you always have to multiply your A value, the first number, with your C value, the last number. That's what you're multiplying to get, and then you're adding up to the middle number. So once we do this, we find that it is -1 and 8. Okay, now don't write this yet. We can't just do x minus 1, x plus 8, because x times x is x squared, and we need it to be 2x squared. So this isn't going to work. These first blanks, I'm going to put blanks in here like this. These first blanks need to multiply to give us 2x squared. So that's going to be 2x and x. 2x times x is 2x squared. Now, this middle number is created when we multiply 2x times this number and this number times x. Like up here, we do x times 3 to get 3x, 2 times x to get 2x. Those add together to give us the 5x. So we need to figure out what those green blanks are going to be to give us 7x. And we're going to use these numbers over here to help us. So these numbers are going to be -1x and +8x. -1x and 8x add up to that 7x. All right, 2x times something, probably not going to be the -1. It's probably going to be the 8x. So this one needs to be 8x. 2x times something is 8x. That would be 4. Okay, then x times something, that has to give us the other one. That would have to be a -1. So our factored form is 2x minus 1, x plus 4. That method is called guess and check. I honestly hate that it's called guess and check, because guess and check sounds like you're just throwing noodles against a wall and trying to see which ones stick. And that's not really what we're doing. We're using what we know about foiling or double distributing to go backwards and get back to the factored form. There is another method to do this. It is called factor by grouping. We started factor by grouping a little bit yesterday. So I'm going to show you on the next example the method factor by grouping, and then I'll also show you guess and check, and I'm going to let you pick which method you would prefer. Some of you are really going to prefer guess and check because it's fast, but some of you are going to prefer factor by grouping because it's a definite step-by-step process. Okay, both methods we're going to start the same way. You have to multiply the first number and the last number. So we are looking for two numbers that multiply to give us 3 times -15 is -45. Those same numbers have to add up to the middle number 4. Now, this can be a little bit frustrating, honestly, but, oh, no, I don't want you full screen. We're just going to, it's probably not 45 and 1. 45 divided by 2 is a decimal, so it's not that. 3 and 15, not going to get 4. Decimal 5 and 9, 5 and 9 would work. So do you see I'm taking 45 divided by numbers and seeing if I get a whole number or a decimal? When I get a whole number, I think, okay, 5 and 9, yes, I could make 4. So -5 and +9. Okay, we're going to undo the process of foiling. We're going to take this 4t term and split it up into -5t and +9t. And the order of those does not matter. So this just got uncombined. We uncombined the like terms using these over here. We still have 3t squared in front, and we still have -15. So see, we haven't changed that trinomial. We just took the middle term and broke it up so that we now have 4 terms instead of 3. Now we're going to factor by grouping. So split it after the second term. What does the first group have in common? They just have a t in common. 3t squared divided by a t is 3t. -5t divided by a t is -5. What does the next group have in common? Drop that symbol down. Looks like we could divide both of those by 3. 9t divided by 3 is 3t. -15 divided by 3 is -5. Your parentheses should match. If they don't, you did something wrong. The factored form would be t plus 3, 3t minus 5. Now, if I wanted to do this factor by grouping, I'm going to split this down here. I would just put my little skeleton here. I call that a skeleton. And I need to fill these blanks in. I know that this one and this one has to give me 3t squared. So that's going to be 3t and t. Okay. I know that this has to give me either -5t or 9t. It's probably going to give me 9t since it's 3. 3t times 3, a positive 3, is 9t. Then this one has to give me the other one. So this one has to give me -5t. So that's going to be -5. My factored form is 3t minus 5t plus 3. And notice the order of those final parentheses don't matter. What matters is there's a 3t minus 5 in one set of parentheses, and there's a t plus 3 in the other set of parentheses. I personally prefer guess and check because I feel like I can get my answer quicker, showing less work. But if you are a step-by-step person, you may prefer factor by grouping, where you find the pair of numbers, split that middle number using that pair, factor by grouping to get your answer. It just takes a lot more work, and I don't really like that. Okay, let's do B together, and then I'll have you try A on your own. So let's do B together. Your first step will always be multiply. Well, actually, your first step really should be check for a greatest common factor. Do these 3 terms have anything in common? No, they don't. So step 2 is multiply the first number and the last number together. We're looking for 2 numbers that multiply to give us -24. Those same numbers have to add up to 5. We got 1 times 24, we got 2 times 12, 3 times 8, 4 times 6, I think 8 and 3, so -3 and 8. I'm going to show you guess and check again, and then I'll show you factor by grouping. So I know that this number times this number has to give me 6x squared. All right. Now, I am going to look at these numbers as a clue. It's probably not 6x and x, because 6 times something isn't going to give me -3, and 6 times something isn't going to give me 8. So there's multiple ways to get this. It's probably not going to be 6x and x. It's probably going to be 2x and 3x, because I could use 2x and 3x to get these numbers if I needed to. So I'm going to do 2x and 3x. 2x times this other number, which I totally missed, is going to give me either -3x or 8x. I'm guessing that's going to be 8x. 2 times 4 is 8. So that's got to be a plus 4. Then this number times 3x has to give me the other one. So that has to be a negative 1. My factored form is 2x minus 1, 3x plus 4. If we did factor by grouping, we'd start the same. We'd get this thing. And then we'd say, all right, we got 6x squared minus 3x plus 8x minus 4. So see these two terms right here. I shouldn't have used pink. Whew. Too many color options. These two terms are just taking that 5x and splitting it up. All right, factor by grouping. My first group has 3x in common. 6x squared divided by 3x is 2x. Negative 3x divided by 3x is negative 1. Bring your plus down. 8x and 4 have 4 in common, not just 2. Think bigger, they have 4 in common. 8 divided by 4 is 2. Negative 4 divided by 4 is negative 1. Those parentheses have to match. The factored form is 3x plus 4, 2x minus 1. I want you to pause the video and try example 2a on your own. You can choose guess and check or factor by grouping. I will show both methods when I restart the video. Pause the video. Pause it. Pause it. Give it a try. Okay, here's both methods. And something else I wanted to show you was if you switch around those middle terms, it is not going to affect anything. It'll just switch the order of your parentheses. Negative 5x. So the order that you put those two terms in the middle is not going to matter. It's going to work either way. So there's factor by grouping 2 ways, and over here is guess and check. I kind of like that guess and check was a whole heck of a lot less work. I feel like I can be lazier and get guess and check to work. Factor by grouping requires me to write a whole bunch of stuff down. I'm actually going to split this lesson into 2 videos because I don't want this one, I don't want to feel like I'm rushed trying to get this all to fit into 15 minutes. So this is the end of the first video. For example 3 and 4, I will record a second video.